Hello, everybody. Welcome to Bad Big Games. I'm your host, Joseph. Today, we're going to talk about the mark of the end of Toys R Us. What Toys R Us meant to me is not just a kid, but how it fostered that love for video games. So, with all that said, Future Joe, roll the intro. So, gang, it is a surprise to no one at this point. Toys R Us is closing its doors for good. A few months back, it filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. It closed down over 100 stores. A lot of people lost their jobs, and now even more people lost their jobs. And that sucks. Toys R Us, I think, for so many of us here in the States, here at least in the East Coast, means a lot. You know, back in the day, I want to talk about my love for Toys R Us as a kid because back in the day, as a 90s kid, there was few places to go to get video games. A lot of kids today, a lot of people today take advantage of the fact that you could buy everything on your PSN, right? Or on Xbox Live or, on your Nintendo Marketplace. And even go to GameStop or Best Buy, Target. And a lot of people forget that back in the 90s, you had like Sears, maybe Kmart, Toys R Us, Blockbuster for all your video game needs. And it's so weird how I said all those companies and they're all either going out of business or out of business. It's crazy to think that. So when I think about Toys R Us and I think about as a child what that meant to me, a little piece of me died yesterday because that is my childhood. So many of us, every Saturday morning, we begged after our cartoons were over, and that dead too. After Saturday morning cartoons, you go over to Toys R Us and you just explore the halls, right? You go to, for me, a magnet at Lego. I loved Legos as a kid. I was staring at Bionicles. Bionicles were my jam. Are they still around? Pray to God they are. And that aisle meant so much to me. Nerf, and then most of all, the little electronics section that meant so much to me as a kid. I remember just staring at all these games that my mom wouldn't let me buy. And on those rare occasions, those super rare occasions, she'd give in. And I remember my fondest memory at Toys R Us as a kid was the Game Boy Pocket, my first ever Game Boy, the first console that me, owned. It was mine. I usually my NES, my Super Nintendo, my N64, the Game Boy that me and my brother co-owned, and you can already tell how that went. That was the first console that was truly mine. And the story is, guys, I was a dumb kid. Like all kids are naive, but I was really out there. And so when my mom, me and my brother had a fight over Pokemon Blue. And again, what would happen is my brother would play, beat a couple of gyms, put it down. I would pick it up, erase all of his shit. And I remember he got to the third gym, and I was like the trash can gym that even still today is like Inception. I can't figure it out. Because again, I'm an idiot. Link down below of how you beat that fucking gym for the love of God. And I erased the save file, and it was a huge fight. A huge fight. And so my mom, instead of just taking it away and then letting the fight go to her, she was just like, all right, I've had it. Just like with all parents. They're like, there's one point in every parent's life, I believe, I've seen it so many times, they just give up and they give in. And then she's just like, okay, I'm going to take him to Toys R Us. This ends. This ends today. And so we get there, and I don't know she's buying me a Game Boy Pocket because she says that I have to earn it and I have to be a good boy. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. So I quickly go to the Legos. My mom, she follows me, and then she's just like, I'm gonna go to the electronics section. You come with me. This is back in the day, 90s. Again, my mom, maybe not the best parent for leaving me alone, but she trusted me, I think. No, that was poor parenting on her part. Sorry, Mom, I love you. Anyway, nonetheless, we get to the electronics section, right? And I'm just wandering the aisles, just being a dumb kid. My mom just goes, if you were to get a Game Boy, and I'm not saying you're getting it, what would it be? And I'm like, a Game Boy Pocket, because it got little hands. And she's like, okay. And if I were getting it for you, and I'm definitely not, what color? Because those came in colors. And I was like, I want red. And red really it really looks pink, but whatever. I loved it. My first console, I get to pick the color. And And she's like, okay, in that game, the Pokemon one, right? That the one that turns kids into Satanists. Which one do you want? And since my brother had blue, his favorite it was Blastoise at the time. What a poor choice. He got Charizard or Blastoise. And I'm not saying Turtle Cannon's back. That's cool. It's Charizard, right? So I was just like, I want Charizard. And I picked red, and I think I picked the red pocket because my brother's favorite color at the time was red. And so that was like a little dig at him, like, look, I got your favorite color. It's like, boom, I won. And, I see my mom take it and put it in her purse, and it's still not registering up here in my noggin. So we're open. My mom's opening the door to the house. Again, I'm so naive. I'm just happy that I got to go to Toys R Us. And my mom opens the front door. She's like, now, Joe, have you been a good boy? And are you going to be a good boy? And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be the best fucking kid you ever goddamn see in your life. And my mom's like, okay, stop using that language. Where did you learn that from? I was like, I'm sorry, go fuck yourself. And so she's like, I got you this, and bam, it changed my life. Like playing Pokemon Red for hundreds of hours, like collecting all the Pokemon. But like to me, collecting 151 was not the goal, though I got a lot of them. It was really in the beginning just to collect all the cool ones that I liked. So it was just like filling out the 6 that I really liked. And yeah, capturing some other ones, but like to me, like Alakazam's my favorite Pokemon. You could get at me. He's fucking spoons, right? There is no spoon. But he's like doing it times 2. That's awesome. Alakazam's the shit. And so like that's all Toys R Us to me. And I remember getting our N64 in a Toys R Us after begging and pleading. After my dad said, your Super Nintendo's your last one, I'm never getting you this again. And then getting Shadows of the Empire with it. Mario 64, Shadows of the Empire, Dash motherfucking Rendar. Man, that was amazing. And I remember getting that, my mom giving in, and she's like, get him a game. And my dad's like, I'm not getting him a game. And we got 2. My mom squeezed 2 games and an extra controller. And I remember when we got there, because our TV was made by Mitsubishi. That's how old our TV was. Old wood. Yeah, you kids don't know. You guys got your plasmas and whatever. That doesn't even exist anymore. God, I'm just dating this whole video. So we got it, and then it wasn't working because it was a coax cable that we needed to get. So we needed to get an adapter. And I remember driving on, I'm gonna just spoil this highway. We drove an hour to get to this one. This is when we lived in upstate New York. We drove all the way, and I remember this one part of Route 46. Every time I visit this highway and I'm driving there, I get that excitement in me about that time when I was a kid with my dad in the car and yelling at us. But it wasn't like, he's like, I'm never gonna use it again. It's stupid. It's a waste of money. And you can never. But like, it's with him all bitching and complaining, but driving us to get that cable. That's a good memory for me. I know how crazy that seems, but like, it was a good memory because I know I'm gonna go home after this, and I'm gonna trip an AT-AT, right? I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna be Mario. And again, that's Toys R Us. And then the last memory, before I bore you guys, is the original Xbox. Again, like when I was little, I was still little. I was like 11, 12 maybe when the original Xbox came out, right? Born in 91. Yeah, I was like around 12 or 11, whatever the case may be. When that console came out, me and my brother would bicker all the time about like who's cheating at split screen. Joe, I just want to play this game by myself. Get out of my room. And I'm like, it's our room. We share it. I know how lame that is. And we got into one big fight, and my mom got scared and she sent me to some Bel Air place. And so my dad comes up the stairs and he's like, I've had it. And again, this is another moment in time where the parent breaks. He's like, okay, I'm just tired of them fighting with each other. I'm just gonna get them an extra Xbox, so Joe has something to play and they don't have to bicker. And so he got me an Xbox really what it was. I think it was the controller was all fucked up, and I just wanted another controller. And he got me an Xbox, and we were driving there, and I remember again, this is the last one. I'm never buying you another console again. You got bet your life on it, buddy. And it wasn't the last console he bought for me. Come on, it was the 360, and the best memory ever as a kid. Anyway, nonetheless, I got that, and I remember just again Toys R Us getting it, seeing it there, and it sucks to see where Toys R Us is now. Again, I don't want to be that analyst, but you can kind of see what's happened is the relevance of the importance of Toys R Us has ended, and you see more boutique stores, specialty stores. You see the rise of Amazon, and you just see Toys R Us barely trying to catch up. Like, I knew it was the end when I saw Apple Watches and iPads being sold there. Because I'm like, this isn't why I'm coming to Toys R Us. I'm not coming here to buy a tablet. I'm not. And so I think, and I hope what happens with Toys R Us is that someone buys them and restructures the company, and what they become is those stores you see. Like, they had it, at least in my area, express stores. Just drop the express, call them Toys R Us, and do what you do. Sell toys, sell Legos, sell Barbies, sell those, the bikes and those plastic cars that my dad would never buy us. Not even the ones with the little, like, bicycle pedals. He would never buy that. Come on, Dad. That was his greatest flaw. That's why I don't love him. and so I think, and I hope that's the route that Toys R Us takes, because gaming wasn't that. I remember working there, and I accidentally insulted the guy that did the shipping, because I was just like, I forget what game it was, but it was like Connects, and this is when Connect was done dead, and they ordered like 40 of the copies of these, and not one sold. And then, like, him complaining that Ghosts at the time, this is like 2 or 3 years after Ghosts has come out, is not selling on the 360, and he's dropped the price so many times. I'm like, what price did you drop it to? $30. I'm like, there's like 2 other ones now, right? Like, there was just a lot of people that just didn't get it, and it sucks to see where Toys R Us is now. But I want to know what you guys think of Toys R Us, what it means to you. Do you have those fond gaming memories like I do? Put them down below. Again, my thoughts go out to everyone affected, who wasn't part of their decision making, who, again, managers, assistants, store leads, department heads, whatever the case may be, just the everyday cashier. My thoughts go out to you. I hope you all land on your feet, because it sucks to hear. It really does suck to hear. And that is the terrible thing about that digital future, is that something like this happens. But I hope they land on their feet and they get even better jabs than that. So with that said, everybody, let me know what you guys thought of GameStop. What is your favorite GameStop? Oh my goodness, is that the next one to go? Because I've been just dating everything. Let me know what your thoughts on Toys R Us down below. Again, here at Bad Big Games, we talk about all things gaming: Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, Toys R Us, for example, EA, Activision, GameStop. Hell, you want to see a Blockbuster episode? Let me know in the comments. Seriously, this is what Bad Big Games is all about. It's about the conversation. And if you're into that, we do first impressions, news, rants like these every single week. So please hit subscribe. Also, guys, gang, on the Trophy Room podcast, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players, we're doing a God of War 4 giveaway. How do you get entered in that giveaway? Pretty darn simple, if you ask me. You go over to iTunes, you rate us 5 stars, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. 5 stars, rate us and write us that review. Send a picture of that review. You tweet it to me. You get entered. I write your name on a list. I'm going to put it in one of those machines, crank it up, put out the piece of paper, whammo, bammo, you're the winner, okay? With that said, I want to also thank our Patreon members at patreon.com/makeusbetter for making us better day in, day out. Just got my Amazon notification after like it seemed like 2 years, 2 weeks waiting for my light. It's coming today. Thank you, guys. So, with that long and drawn out ending, everybody, keep your wits about you, have a nice one, and Bad Bit out.